Hey guys, welcome back to Screenwriting in Paradise, the podcast. I'm Jim. I'm a screenwriter and longtime teacher of the craft, and I'm also a storyteller just like you. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. I got about 15 minutes. Let's see if I can pull this off. We're going to do some visual storytelling for the movie 3 Days of the Condor, starring the late, great Robert Redford. The introduction to this film is one of my favorite introductions to a thriller. It starts with Robert Redford riding a moped through New York City. Okay, which he's kind of this gritty guy. A moped. I don't know if you've ever driven in New York City, but oh my God, it's insane. Going through Times Square or Madison Avenue with trucks blaring and honking. And this is 1970s too, and it's really nitty gritty. New York City is dirty and tough, and he's screaming at taxi cabs next to him and stuff as he's driving this moped. Literally to the opening credits of the film. But basically, he is a CIA analyst. It means he works in sort of this discreet office where they basically read books from around the world and other material to gather spy information, I guess. But we don't even know that initially because it's introduced to us slowly. But the bottom line is he works for the CIA, and he arrives. He's riding his moped to work, and he arrives late to work. And actually, the first thing we realize is a little bit different is he has to, first of all, get let in via a video camera, and also somebody is watching. There's a guy across the street in a car who's like checking off names, and it has pictures, and there's a picture of, his name is Joe Turner, Robert Redford's character. There's a picture of Joe in this guy's car. He sees it and he checks him off as he goes inside. But he has to be checked in via a video camera, and he pulls down he's wearing a ski hat. He pulls it over his face so he looks like a bank robber, and he shows he has a sense of humor. And and the people inside who he works for, the CIA people, who we don't know are CIA yet, including a secretary, this chain-smoking secretary. She's the one looking at the security camera. She buzzes him in. And he charges in, apologizing for being late, even though he's not, even though he doesn't care. But when she buzzes him in, what's important is that next to her ashtray is the drawer in her desk, and she opens it up, and inside is like a .45 Magnum, like a pretty big handgun. It's like, why is that pistol packing secretary? Why does she have that gun in her drawer? But we don't know they're CIA yet. So anyway, he comes running in. He runs upstairs to his office, and there's a picture of, I think, Einstein on the wall, which again implies he's pretty bright, and he is. He starts to work. In comes this woman, one of his colleagues. There's like 7 people who work in the whole office, and kisses him on the forehead. She looks both ways, and that's really important because it means that they have a relationship, but it's a beginning relationship. Nobody knows about it, right? So it's not like they're soulmates. She's expendable. Not to give you a spoiler alert. And then they hear that the mail is there. So he says, I'll go get it. And she's going to go get the mail. He says, no, I'll go down and get the mail for you guys, because there's a couple other colleagues in the office too. So he goes back down the stairs past the chain-smoking secretary, and there's the mailman. And when he gets the mail, he sees some kids outside in the security monitor trying to steal his moped. So he runs outside and chases the kids away. He's really nice about it. There's just teenagers that are messing with his moped. But he looks up at the sky and he sees that it's starting to rain. That's really important. It's going to rain, or it's starting to rain. So he goes back inside and back up to his office, and he's working again, and his snobby old boss comes in and tells him it's his turn to get lunch, because apparently they get takeout every day. So, this is fate, and this is, again, choreography and storytelling. So it's Joe's turn to get lunch, so he goes back down the stairs again, and this time, instead of going out the front door, where his moped's parked, he goes out down through the basement, like the back door. And he starts going down this basement staircase, and there's the security guard and the chain-smoking secretary are in the main entrance there. And the security guard's like, hey, Mr. Turner, you can't do that. And apparently he's new. And the secretary says, oh, Joe does that, or Mr. Turner does that every time it's raining, because he saves a block, from getting wet, basically, just to save a block. 100 meters, 100 yards. So meanwhile, we see Joe go running down through this basement. It's like a lot of books, it's like a library, and charges out and goes out the bunch of gates and, cellar rooms and through a remote staircase back up to this main street. On top of that, he has his jacket pulled up over his head, And that's important because this guy in the car who's been watching people and checking them off going in the front door, of course, doesn't see him leave because he goes out the back door. And again, he has his jacket up over his head so nobody can see him. And he's doing that because it's raining, right? And it is raining. And he runs into this diner, and where he has this great repertoire with these, the chef and some of the locals sitting at the bar, and they're joking about, I don't know, intellectual stuff like Mozart and Van Gogh and how they both died paupers, and I guess Van Gogh didn't start painting until he was 30 years old or something like that, and died penniless. This gritty guy next to him was like, "What is this, the New York Public Library? I don't come in here to get educated," something like that. And Joe's got a sense of humor. He turns to him, he's like, "Of course you don't come in here to get educated. You come in here to get sick, just like everybody else." So there's some pretty good jokes and banter in that diner. Meanwhile, you cut back to the CIA office, or it's called the New York Historical Literary Society, some sort of cover name, and there is this hit squad entering. Okay, led by the great Max von Sydow, great Swedish heritage actor, and it's him and this guy dresses up as the mailman and another dude with a poncho, and they all have guns, and they basically go in and blow away the secretary and the security guard, right? They get entrance because of the mailman, and they come in and they kill the secretary right away, the security guard, and they go upstairs and shoot all the other colleagues, including this woman, right, who is Joe's love interest. And it's really interesting how that happens, who they choose to shoot first. Of course, the last one is the love interest because we actually, as the audience, care about her a little bit because she had kissed him on the forehead. So she goes last. That's sort of important. It's definitely important visually when you watch the movie. But the bottom line is Joe is still back at the diner while this is happening. So you cut back to him leaving the diner while this assassination is still going on, and it stopped raining. So he comes out and he looks up and it's not raining. He's holding a bag full of sandwiches. So he walks back the normal way and comes in the front door of his office. And when he gets there, it's weird because the door is ajar. And he's like, "What's going on here?" And normally he's joking around, like pulling his hat over his head and all that stuff. But this time that's not the case. And so he walks in and he's kind of laughing. He's like, "What's going on here?" And he looks and he sees the security guard lying on the ground. He's like, and he laughs a little bit, thinking he's lying down, and then realizes he has a bullet in his head, and he freaks out. He's like, "What?" And then he looks over and he sees the secretary. He's like, "What?" Looks upstairs, like, "Oh my God!" And he runs upstairs because, of course, his girlfriend's up there, and he finds her, and she is, of course, dead. But he picks her up at first because, of course, it's his girlfriend. Then he's a great actor. He has this look on his face. He realizes she's gone, and at the exact moment he hears a noise, by the copy machine or something. And he looks up and he realizes there might be somebody in there killing people still. So he puts her down. And of course, the timeline is perfect. Again, the choreography here, because we are thinking it's still the same time, but it's movie making. So it's actually, of course, these guys are already gone. But he doesn't know that, and we don't know that as the audience because we didn't see them leave. But so he goes in the other room and finds the rest of the people shot, and he realizes the entire place has been hit, been taken out, and he realizes his life is in danger. So he kind of backs down the stairs and actually grabs the gun from the secretary's desk, and he holds it really awkwardly because to make it clear that he's never held a gun in his life, he holds it backwards and kind of backs out carefully out of the office and out into the street and runs off. So that's the beginning of the movie. Literally, all of his colleagues are murdered while he's getting sandwiches. But the choreography is amazing, the storytelling is amazing, the intensity is amazing, and also how they fool us right here. It's a wonderful storytelling sequence, and I highly recommend checking out 3 Days of the Condor. Robert Redford. I'll be doing this again soon.